everyone. Welcome back to the Miraculous Mamas podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Joy, and we believe in empowering women through storytelling and education. And I'm joined here by my husband, Vito, today.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast, Boo.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Vito and I, we're going to go over our birth plan and answer some questions as we're getting ready for this baby.
Before you started recording, I was literally just thinking, I need to do some breathing exercises tonight because I'm getting anxious. And I know when I used to do yoga a lot, my anxiety almost was none.
Yeah.
Disappeared. I think it was, forcing yourself to breathe and being in a 100-degree room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the thing about yoga that's super challenging for me is the holding of a position. For me, when I work out, I want to work out. I want to be moving and doing different things. So it's like, just hold this position. Mm-hmm. And then I start to feel weak. I'm like, why can't I just hold my arm straight up in the air for 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm. It sucks. Yoga sucks because it's so simple and so hard. Mm-hmm. And you have to, the only way to get through it is to breathe through it. And I remember you were always saying like, I don't really like yoga. I don't really like yoga. And I'm like, it's because you can't breathe through things. Or you're learning how to.
Yes.
You're actually doing a lot better practicing.
Yeah, well, I'll catch myself. Mm-hmm. It is hard right now, though. I am in that phase of pregnancy where breathing is a task. Like having a conversation, I just lose my breath because there's nowhere my diaphragm is completely smushed.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, you run out of breath in normal conversations. I know that's what you're thinking.
No, you're a pleasure to speak with.
Thanks, Boo. So we're going to go over our birth plan, and then we're also going to answer some questions that you guys sent in. And yeah, just dive right into it. So I guess we'll kind of maybe answer some questions, then fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking, what are you doing different or the same this time as last?
Well, the major difference is we're going to a birthing center instead of the midwifery group at the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's connected, not physically to the hospital, but they're associated, correct?
No. They're not associated, but they have privilege there to where, it's 5 minutes away. Mm-hmm. So if I were to transfer to the hospital, I would transfer there. And if the midwives aren't completely packed and full, I would transfer into the midwife group that delivered Jovi. Hopefully one of them would be there and be able to work with me. Nice. So they're not associated, but that's who their working relationship is with.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So that would be the major difference.
Yeah.
What else are we doing different?
I think preparing less.
Yeah, we are
and
so
more.
Underprepared.
Yes, it's like less and more. I feel like last time, first of all, it was summer. So, but I was out curb walking. I was doing like all these different things to get the baby ready. I was making sure I was eating my dates every day and drinking the tea and doing everything. And this time it's cold outside. So I'll bounce on my birth ball. And I am going to a chiropractor that I love that's really helping me get my body a little bit ready. And half the time I forget to eat my dates.
Yeah. I feel like this time, as far as preparedness goes, we had so much free time with Jovi that we were able to, hey, how do we want to do nap times? How do we want to do foods? Or what does eating look like? This is how we got to prepare for diaper changes and whatnot. And now that we have a child, we're just really far behind. And I feel like we have to relearn the newborn phase.
Well, we were like, I was taking courses and we were like prepared for what to do right when we bring the baby home, but we were just talking and we don't remember like
anything. I'm
like, wait, when the baby naps as a newborn, am I putting them like in a dark room or are they just kind of sleeping on you, sleeping on like wherever, like I just don't remember.
I genuinely don't remember any of it.
I remember her sleeping in our arms.
Right, but was it dark?
I think it would just kind of like be wherever we were.
When did we put her down for naps? Or did we?
I don't know.
I don't know.
4 months is usually like when you start kind of more of a schedule. But yeah, I just don't remember. I think we would maybe go put her in the bassinet in our room, but it's going to also be different this time because we can't just. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'll be different this time because we can't just lay the baby down anywhere because we have a toddler running around too. So it's not like we can set up the little travel bassinet on the couch and just leave the baby there like we could have with Jovi. Now it's, you know, and just things that we forgot. Like we have everything set up in our room for the baby to come home. And then I'm like, we have nowhere to put the diapers, like dirty diapers.
Right. We need a garbage can.
I'm like, we need somewhere to throw away the dirty diapers in our room. We don't have anything. So just little things like that I think maybe last time we were more prepared for. But I think with your second one, you also are more prepared to wing it because we've done it before and we're like, oh, you figure it out.
Yeah. I feel like it's easier to figure it out the more prepared you are. Like I feel underprepared even with the birthing process because like you were saying, we were taking classes, we were talking about it a bunch. I was asking 1,000 questions and we went through it and now we're going to go through it again. And I feel like a brand new, like this is the first time. And I think that's why I'm getting anxious now. Cause it's like, obviously everything always works out. It's a supernatural process. It's extremely safe by the numbers, but it's super intense.
Yeah.
You know, we were watching Jovi's birth today and I was just like reliving the whole thing and I was a mess because it's super intense. And then it's like, you know, you don't know anything.
Right.
And you have no control. So I think just mentally being prepared, I need to work on that quickly because the baby's coming very soon.
The baby will be here soon. So yeah, this week I'm 39 weeks. So, you know, if I haven't had the baby already, then hopefully in the next couple weeks, I will. Someone asked when I started to feel big. I feel like this pregnancy, not till like 20 weeks. I felt like I popped sooner with Jovi actually. And they say that you usually pop sooner with your second. I felt like I kind of had like a little pooch, but like you couldn't really tell I was pregnant until almost 20 weeks. Whereas I was looking at photos when I was like 15 weeks with Jovi or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you can definitely see a bump. And this time I'm like, oh, my bump's just hiding under my weakened abs from pushing out my last child. So
yeah, you don't even look super big right now.
You were saying
you said you weigh the same, but I feel
like I was bigger with Jovi.
Unless I'm remembering wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess.
could be carrying a little bit different. I think I might be carrying a little bit more oblong. Like the baby's a little bit lower, whereas with Jovi, I was just sticking straight out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I weigh literally exactly the same as I did with Jovi. And I exercised way more with her. But I guess this time I'm chasing around a toddler a little bit. But I wish I was working out more. Somebody asked if it bothers me when you have said in the past, we're pregnant, instead of like, I'm pregnant.
I've said that?
I guess. No, it doesn't bother me. It's half genetically Vito's. I know he's not physically carrying it, but it has not ever bothered me. Hospital bag must-haves for you and for hubby. So since we're at a birthing center, it's a little bit different this time because we go home between 6 and 12 hours after having the baby. So it's not like we have to pack for a couple nights. But for me, a bra that unhooks is really important. I'd like to labor in a bra, but have easy access to unhook it for immediate skin to skin or anything like that. If you're at a hospital, I highly recommend a bra that unhooks in the back so that it's just easier. Like if you end up getting an epidural or anything like that, if you're choosing to wear a bra at all. But if you have a bra that unhooks in the back, it's much easier to be able to do that stuff. If it unhooks on the straps, bigger bonus. Then just snacks, chargers.
What kind of snacks?
Toiletries. Nothing that smells. I think everything in our bag, it's like we have some granola bites, some, I don't remember what all we
just
put in
bland things.
Granola bars, granola bites,
Crackers.
honey sticks, crackers, things like that. I recommend bringing, if you have a favorite beverage, like I really love coconut water with sparkling lime water together. So I'm bringing that to like put on ice because it's just really refreshing. And it's refreshing to have in labor too. So definitely that stuff. I didn't bring a robe last time, but I'm bringing one to the birthing center. I think having a robe is nice. I literally just hung out in like my diaper, and I don't remember what I wore at the hospital last time.
You were naked a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You were in and out of the bathtub, in the shower, back in the tub, back in the shower, laying down.
Well, for labor, but for postpartum, I'm trying to think.
Oh. I don't know.
I think I just wore the gown, or sweats.
Yeah.
So not a lot. You don't need like an outfit for each day. I feel like you're just wearing the same stuff.
Yeah. As long as you're comfortable, I'd say, right?
Something comfortable to go home in. I would not bring tight pants. Like, even though I wear tight, stretchy maternity pants, I'm packing loose sweatpants to come home in, just to be comfortable. And then especially if you end up in a cesarean, you don't want something rubbing on your belly, maybe. So looser, comfier clothes. For the dad, layers, lots of layers, and a change of clothes, because the temperature I find as a doula, when I'm on the doula side, I feel like the rooms are freezing. But once I've been doing hip squeezes for 2 hours, I'm breaking a sweat. Then I'm like, okay, ripping off layers, because when you walk in, frigid. I literally wear a tank top, a long sleeve shirt, and a sweatshirt. And I usually just take the sweatshirt off and pull up my sleeves on the long sleeve. But then I have the tank top if it gets really hot. But most of the hospital rooms are freezing. So layers for the dad, because you're not going to be you will be freezing. You're not going to be the one usually sweating. And then if you are planning on using hydrotherapy, so whether it's a shower or a tub, maybe flip-flops, if you're getting in the shower or just going to be in the water, swim trunks, things like that, change of clothes. Mm-hmm. Bluetooth, playlist, LED lights, make the room cozy. Something from home to make the hospital room more cozy. So whether that's like a little blankie or a pillow, just anything to make you feel like you're in your own environment, I think.
That all sounds good, yeah.
Let's see. Somebody asked how much sex we are having.
I'll let you answer that.
It does help you prepare you for birth.
It does. You were just telling me today that it does what? It softens the cervix or something?
The prostaglandins are helping my cervix to thin.
Yeah, man. You just like throw around big words that you know I'm not going to understand. And then you're like, it's science. Data shows it. I'm like, all right, well, you don't have to ask me twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that our sex life just has never really changed that much, besides that initial postpartum period.
Just whatever you're thinking happened in Sextober, transfer that over to every month.
No, there was way more going on in Sextober. Which that was on the Long Haul podcast, so I don't know if these listeners know about. Sorry. Yeah, we had a sex challenge in October a couple of years ago. So, yeah, I mean, we're pretty regular, I would just say that. So what's our plan of care for Jovi? I'm so nervous about my firstborn.
Me too. Oh, man. What are we going to do?
Well, my mom will be in town. Your mom will be here.
Yeah, when they go away, though, I feel like I'll probably, hopefully she'll come to me more easily.
I mean, she goes to you pretty easily.
No, yeah, she does. But I'm saying hopefully our relationship will flourish into something more, and hopefully she'll be able to be a little more independent. Yeah, all this stuff is what I worry about.
Yeah, I mean, when I go into labor, we have family to help with her, and then even for when I get back a little bit. But I was just telling Vito tonight, the one thing I want to try to do is maybe keep our bedtime routine the same. So I'm the one putting her down so that she gets that one-on-one mommy and her time. Mm-hmm. And then you can bond with the new baby and stuff during that time. But just to keep like a little bit of consistency, because during the day, she's going to be sharing me with the new baby. So to have that time of just us, I think would be good.
Yeah, I agree.
But then we're just figuring it out from there. Tips for prepping for recovery.
Padsicles,
and then meal prep. So either set up a meal train, have people drop off food. You can start.
Are you going to explain what a padsicle is?
Oh, there's a video on my Instagram of making them. It's basically aloe vera, witch hazel, and lavender, and you like spread it into a pad. You freeze it. They're the best for postpartum. You take it out, let it thaw a little bit, put it on. It helps with hemorrhoids, helps with your vaginal care, whatever's going on there. They're very soothing and healing. I made a bunch of them. And then, yeah, if there's like a couple of favorite meals that you have, start double batching it and freezing half so that it's super easy to heat up in a pot on the stove or put together crock pot meals in freezer bags and then just like label it on the outside with instructions. Like put in crock pot, add 2 cups of broth, leave on low for 8 hours. Super easy. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's really good. And then setting up hydration stations for postpartum. Because the worst thing is when you finally get cozy and you start nursing and then your water bottle's across the room. And it like you have to get up, your vagina hurts or your stitches from a cesarean. Like make sure that you have water at your nursing station. So by your bed, by the rocking chair, by the couch, wherever you're going to be at, have your phone charger, your water bottle, and a book or something that you can have, because it's a horrible feeling. Like you feel parched when you're nursing and you're just staring at your water bottle across the room like, I'm about to dehydrate to death.
Yeah. And don't fall asleep while you're nursing the baby.
Definitely don't do that.
Wake me up if I'm not up already.
Of course. Will I be tandem nursing? As of now, yes. I'm actually going to be interviewing a lactation consultant. I had somebody write in and ask about doing a podcast on weaning, which I thought would be super interesting. And so I really want to talk to her about maybe not weaning Jovi, but learning how to set boundaries around breastfeeding, because lately she's been doing it a lot more and it's been tough.
Yeah. I think you're doing it out of guilt now. Or not out of guilt, but like, it's going to be less and you're being sentimental. And I think you should wean, personally.
Yeah.
Not because I think it's weird or anything, just because of the new baby. I think it's going to be really hard for Jovi to accept it.
Right.
Unless she's used to not doing it.
But I think it's the opposite. I feel like if I wean her now, as soon as she sees me whip out my boobs with the new baby,
yeah,
she's going to want it again.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see. I have no idea.
Yeah. But I would like to set boundaries around it and figure out that, because otherwise I just feel like I'm just going to be a cow getting milked all day long.
Yeah.
What music playlist are you using? I think on my Spotify, if you follow me at elizabethsandos@gmail.com, I have a labor playlist. It's called Labor/Breathe on there. And I have 3 different playlists. I have the Labor/Breathe, which is like the main one. And then I have Worship for Labor and then Upbeat for Labor in case I feel like dropping it like it's hot. So you can check that out. Thoughts on hypnobirthing. I think that it's great for some people. I think any sort of birth education class is really good. And I've heard a lot of people say hypnobirthing was great. They were able to visualize, and other people were like, it's not for me, but I learned so much that really helped me come up with my birthing plan. Mm-hmm. How long should you wait before cutting the cord? 2 to 5 minutes. Yeah, until it stops pulsing. If you plan on doing delayed cord clamping, wait until it stops pulsing, and it's usually within 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was cool. With Jovi, that's what we said we wanted to do. And then the midwife was like, look, you see, it's white. It's not pulsing anymore. Like, she showed me. And I was like, yeah. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, cool. And she's like, oh, no, I just wanted you to let you see that all the blood is transferred and everything. And then I cut it. And that was wild.
Yeah.
I just hope that I could keep my composure because of everything that happened last time. I want to not freak out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the baby's going to come out healthy and great, and you're going to be healthy and great. And I feel like I'm just going to be so anxious the whole time. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? You know?
Yeah. I think you're going to be okay in the moment.
Yeah, I hope so.
You will.
I just remember waking up like every 30 minutes. And I would sit up in a panic and look over at the crib and just wait to see if her back was, or her chest was moving, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
It's just so much.
It is a lot. A lot of people are asking about an epidural. And it's not an option at the birthing center. So my plan is to go without it this time around.
No, if you need it, we're 10 minutes away.
Right. But I'm not going to need it.
No.
As long as she's not.
Yeah, you're gonna do great.
As long as the baby's not in a
like
funky.
4 kids, all without any medication.
Mm-hmm. And she was on Pitocin.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes. How can I find a birthing center for my next birth? Are they safe as a hospital? So research has shown that birthing centers actually have the best outcomes for mothers and babies over hospitals and home birth. So, I mean, all the statistics are close, but home birth does have the best outcomes. How you find a home birth, I mean, research, word of mouth. But when you're there, like one thing that we've done, Vito has asked so many questions at every single appointment. And in order to birth at like the birthing center we're going to, you have to be low risk. There's a lot of requirements, in order to go there. And even in labor, there's certain things that happen where you risk out and you have to transfer. So, we've just asked a lot of questions, mostly Vito.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm way more skeptical and way less crunchy than Liz is. And so when she says stuff like, oh, studies show that birthing centers have the best outcomes and stuff, I just immediately, because I'm not used to it, because I don't know, I just immediately go, that's not true. So I did my own research, and I couldn't find anything that was negative about birthing centers. And I was looking because I was like, you know, just trying to see. I saw something, and I don't remember who wrote it. I think it was the NHIV.
Yeah, they do a lot of the studies.
They were saying that like birthing centers have on average a 6% cesarean rate, where like the national average is 36 or something like that.
33, I think.
And that could be because of what you just said, where like you have to qualify, at least for the one we're at. You have to qualify with like super low risk. You got to pass all these tests.
Right. Well, you have to think like if you have placenta previa, you can't give birth at the birthing center. You have to have a C-section, so you're going to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Same with breech, like in the state of Illinois. I think in most states, but in Illinois, it is illegal for a midwife to deliver a breech baby at a birthing center or a home birth. Mm-hmm. So you risk out, go to the hospital. We already did an episode on breech birth, so you know that there's really no options there, so you have to have a cesarean. So that naturally is going to drive up the hospital's statistic rate, but also the World Health Organization says that a country's national cesarean rate should be between like 6 and 12%. Ours is at 33. So that means there's 20% of unnecessary cesareans happening.
Yeah. No, I was just surprised at the results I found, like how positive of outcomes. It definitely eased my mind about birthing at a birthing center, just because I'm never even heard of it. I've never heard of anybody doing it. You would hear about people having home births, but you just thought that happened like in movies until I met you, and you're like, yeah, all of my family, my sister and my cousins and everybody. So I was like, oh, geez, this is going to be fun.
We come from different birthing worlds.
But
for sure.
Like you were saying, too, when we do have our appointments, I'll ask every question, and I'll ask uncomfortable questions too. I'll be like, "Who are you to know whether the baby's healthy or not?" I think I asked that the last.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, but you're." You're trained in that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're trained in a lot of things, and they're like, "Yeah," and then they'll like show how they are, and I'm like, "All right, okay." Mm-hmm. And I'm very judgmental.
Yes,
when it comes to that stuff,
you are.
I don't mess around. So I'm happy with where we're at when it comes to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did I step over the line?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So what are you most excited about, most anxious about? So anxiousness is excitement. You can turn it into that. Mm-hmm. I think for me, what I'm most excited about, I'm actually excited to go into labor again. I'm excited to get this baby out and see what this next chapter is. Meet who's in there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? I don't even know.
It's so paradoxical because it's like there's so much stress and anxiety that comes with being a parent, but it gives you all of the most excitement and love you can feel in the world. So it's like, I don't know if you can't have one without the other.
Oh,
I would like to think that you could. Like, you could just have all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, I want to have as many kids as possible so that when they're older and we're like, just have a full house and parties, and because that's what life's all about is for me at least, family and being with each other in relationships. And the more kids you can have, in theory, the more relationship you have. Mm-hmm. But the process is like heart-wrenching, man. It's maybe it's just because of what we went through with Jovi, and
I don't even think it's just that, because I think for me, I guess, honestly, the thing I'm most anxious about is how I'm going to feel postpartum, because before becoming a parent, I feel like I've never really had a worry in my life. I've always been a very carefree person. Thought the world was a safe place for me to frolic in. And then
overall
I had a child.
it is.
I know, but you just worry about things that you've never worried before in your life. And after having Jovi, I had a lot of very intrusive thoughts. Like, every night I would lay in bed and think that people were going to break into our home and shoot us and steal our child. Every single night.
Yeah.
And that was something I never would have thought of before or worried about. And who are these people banging down you know what I mean?
Right. You were like, this army's going to come in. I'm like, what army?
I'm like, the SWAT team's basically swinging through, either swinging through the windows, busting in our house. I honestly, I think a part of it too is what I was watching postpartum. I was watching The Blacklist, which isn't a scary show.
I never understood why you did that.
But this time I'm really just going to protect, I can't even watch an action movie after I have a child.
Yeah.
I can't even watch anything that's going to remotely.
Well, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily garbage. It's just
well, sure it is. It's not positive. It's not uplifting.
I'm not going to go watch anything that could be potentially negative. So it's I can watch The Office and Friends. Stick to the usual shows postpartum. Maybe just read some uplifting books. I feel like my energy was very easily affected. And I'm a little anxious about that, about maybe getting postpartum depression or feeling like I'm drowning.
Yeah.
With 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, I'm excited.
I'm excited. I think a lot of my anxiety is excitement.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I am. I wonder what it is. We've got names now, and now I'm just like, oof.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Phoebo or Phoebe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I am a little bit anxious about also leaving Jovi to go give birth. For some reason, I just feel like I'm going to miss her while I'm there.
Yeah.
Or just thinking about her, you know. What?
No, I just love her so much.
So today's actually our anniversary. I know this episode's coming out after our anniversary, but we spent the day together and we dropped her off at our mother-in-law's and went out to breakfast, then just spent the day together. And then we're hanging out. And we're like, do you want to go get Jovi? Like, we miss her. We were like ready to have her back home. Even though she's
I love her so much.
a wild child. I know, she's the best. So I feel like that'll be interesting, which leads us to the next question of how do we plan on introducing the baby to Jovi? Which is nothing we've talked about before.
I don't know. But just you're holding the baby. I'll bring Jovi over, and then we'll sit together.
Mm-hmm. I know some people have like done this thing where they bring a gift home, like for Jovi from the baby. Look, this is your little brother or sister. They brought you a gift. I feel like she's so young, she wouldn't understand
she
it.
No.
She doesn't really care about gifts that much. But yeah, I think just maybe having, that's how I've pictured it. It's just one of us holding her.
Explain to her what's going on. And
yeah.
It'll take some time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But she's a pretty curious kid. So I'm thinking it'll go well. I'm thinking it might not go well when you start breastfeeding the baby.
Yeah, we'll see.
But hopefully she's, is just as curious.
Right. Yeah. I've tried to explain to her that there's like a baby in my belly, baby gonna come out, and she's like...
Yeah, now she just points to her belly and she's like, baby?
Right.
I'm like, not quite.
Right. How did you get your hubby to support having a natural birth plan?
What is that? What's a natural birth plan?
I think they mean like unmedicated.
Oh.
Or maybe wanting to go to a birthing center.
The birthing center part, we just talked about. Just me doing my research and easing my mind. Whatever you want to do. It's not mine. Mm-hmm. Not my experience. I'm just there to be your partner and to, I don't know, just be there, I guess.
That's all I need you to be.
Yeah. So as far as that's whatever you think is best, whatever you believe that you want or whatever. And then the birthing center, just asking a ton of questions.
Well, I think honestly what made you initially okay with the birthing center is the fact that the midwife who delivered Jovi opened this birthing center.
Yeah,
so her. Like if it wasn't...
No, if she wasn't there, I don't know. It would have been a lot harder to...
Right. That's what I'm saying. If I was just like, hey, we're going to go to this birthing center now, and you're like, I don't know any of these midwives. I think it would have been a lot more convincing. I would have had to have done a lot more convincing. Yeah. But Sarah, she was by my side the entire time in my labor and delivery with Jovi. So I think that is kind of what eased you into it.
Definitely.
So maybe even like a reference or an interview.
Yeah, I think, and you talk about it all the time, just how advocating for yourself in the healthcare setting is so important. And for me, it's a foreign idea. And I don't know if it's because of like watching my mom ask questions all the time at doctor's offices, just out of curiosity. But maybe I don't have any shame. Mm-hmm. I'll ask borderline insulting questions to doctors because it's your life, it's your life, it's the baby's life, it's our health, it's everything. So it's like I don't have to go anywhere to any one specific person. You're not doing me a favor,
right?
So I just say drill them. Ask every question you could think of. I'm not rude by any means, but...
Right. I mean, we were just talking about this today because you were saying, like, even as a kid, when you go in for physicals, you're like, what are you checking for when you do that? Oh, why do you do this? What do you, whatever? Like, you've been like that since you were a kid. And I feel like you've taught me, because I always kind of had that, like, the doctor's the authoritarian figure, so they must know what they're doing. Like, I don't know, you know, but that is so important because it also teaches you about your own body. It teaches you
a
lot of different things.
I was always curious. Yeah. So I was able to ask questions. And I think too, normalizing doctors, I grew up, a guy down the street was a OB, and then one of our family friends is a pediatrician. So like knowing them and seeing that they're human outside of the hospital, you can ask them anything.
Yeah. And then getting you on board to support like an unmedicated birth, like he said, it was up to me. Like when I was that was my plan with Jovi. Then when I ended up getting the epidural, I was like, are you going to be disappointed in me? And you're like, no.
Yeah. You're like, do you think I'm a failure? I was like, are you nuts? What you just went through?
Right. So, and then this time you support me all the way, saying that I can do it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, 100% you can. And this is what we were talking about yesterday. It's such a natural process. We all had to pass through, I don't know what you call it on the podcast. We all had to pass through to get here. So we were all just a sperm and an egg, and then we were all a fetus, and then we all came through, and then we became adults, and then it's a cycle. So it's like it couldn't be any more natural. So to think that you like need this or need that, whatever you think you need, I support. I'll back you up.
Yeah. Thanks, Boo.
Yeah.
And then somebody's asking, what will we be doing differently from the first? Like, what do we want to change as far as like birth plan? I think the biggest change is just going to a birthing center. We had a really solid plan with Jovi. Both places that, like the place where I birthed Jovi and where we're birthing this baby, your basic birthing plan is like immediate skin to skin, delayed cord clamping, intermittent monitoring. I'm trying to think what all.
If it were up to me and I could do all things, I would say differently, I would do no NICU. I would do no complications.
Yeah.
Because my fragile heart can't handle it.
Yeah. But I mean, those are like your basic things that people usually include on the birthing plans, but both places like
we
where
did like the pesticide free, vitamin K,
preservative free,
preservative free, which is all an option. It's all good stuff. What else do we do? I don't know. I said the gender.
Yeah, make sure that Vito's the one who reveals the gender to me. But what I'm trying to say, these places automatically do those things. So it's not like we have to write everything down, which I did with Jovi, and I shared that birth plan. The birthing center automatically like does those things unless you request otherwise.
Yeah, you were just looking for the basics, I think, with Jovi. It wasn't anything crazy in there.
No, but for some people that is crazy.
No. What's crazy about it?
When I started practicing in Vegas, there was not one birth I went to where a doctor would do delayed cord clamping. They would not allow it.
Really?
Yes.
Even though like
yes.
a third of the blood is
still in the placenta. Yes.
Wow.
So, and there's still a lot of doctors like that. And in your birth plan, you have to put like, please do not mention epidural to me. Please do not, like no, or like intermittent monitoring. Sometimes you have to kind of fight for it.
Yeah, that one I could understand.
But I mean, if you're getting induced or if you have an epidural or Pitocin or any of those things, you have to have continual monitoring to make sure that the baby's handling everything okay. But if you're trying to go unmedicated, it's normal to not. Freedom to eat and drink during labor. A lot of hospitals don't allow you to do that.
It's a saline lock thing.
Yeah. So, like, what your experience of like what's normal is like what's not normal at a lot of places.
Yeah, I guess we had a good group.
Hydrotherapy, use of the shower and tub. The shower's a great tool. If your hospital does not have a tub, take a birthing ball in the shower, let the water go over your back. I
take a shower every time I'm sick.
You do, yeah.
I love it.
But it's very, and if it's a detachable head, you can have your partner or doula or whatever just like run it up and down your back or rub it on your lower back wherever hurts. Mm-hmm. It's such a great tool to use. Delayed. I mean, this didn't happen for us, but like delayed newborn exams and stuff. Like a lot of places now will allow an hour to 2 hours of what they call the golden hour. So immediate skin to skin. And with Jovi, I mean, we got to put her on my chest for a little bit, but then they had to take her. So hopefully this time we'll just get that uninterrupted new baby bonding time. Mm-hmm. But those are all things that normal people include on the birthing plan because the hospital might not do it. So.
You're doing amazing work, babe. For real. It's awesome. These are things that I've never even been introduced to.
Yeah. Well, I haven't talked a ton on here about it either because I'm usually interviewing people. So I'm excited to come out with some new stuff hopefully soon and help people with their birthing plans and talk more about it on here and on Instagram and stuff like that because I am really passionate about it. And I just don't talk about it a lot.
It's stuff that, like I've never even heard of. Granted, I'm a guy, but I'm pretty heavily involved in my family's life. I've seen a lot of, been there right after a baby's born. But yeah, you should definitely do like a program or something.
Yeah, I am. But yeah, so I mean, our birth plan's pretty. What we would probably consider normal, but maybe there's definitely some differences from some hospitals on there. So no like interventions, obviously, without being talked to and all of that. No episiotomies. So, which none of that stuff's an option where we're birthing at anyways. It's just if we end up getting transferred.
Which we won't. Everything's going to go great.
Yeah.
Everything's going to go great.
No eye cream. It's really interesting. That's like an interesting one. You really only need it if you have an STD. If you know for sure. In pregnancy, they test you for STDs. And then if you're like, want to know for sure, like you can get tested again at the end. It's very important if you do have an STD to do the eye cream. Because you can get gonorrhea in the baby's eyes and they can go blind. So things like that. But if you know for a fact you don't have any STDs, there's really no reason to do it. It's just kind of started being used as a precaution of like, well, let's just do it to everyone to make sure nobody goes blind from gonorrhea.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. But I don't have gonorrhea. So there's just no reason to do anything added that you don't need. I know that the vitamin K people have gone back and forth on, but we're just like big fans of reading the research and the statistics, then making the best decision for yourself. And for us, it's worth it. So
I don't think I've ever once like looked at someone and thought you're a bad person for choosing that. It's when you know they have love in their heart and they're just doing what they think is best.
Yeah.
So you just got to love on people.
Yeah. For me, it's just important people are informed on the decisions that they're making.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, if you want to get induced or not get induced, like here's pros, here's cons. Like even an epidural, like there's pros, and cons. And the big pro is pain relief. Or you're exhausted and you need to sleep. Are there side effects? Yes. Are there risks? Yes. Like know the information, then make the best choice. And there's not a right or a wrong. You have to do what's best for you. So it's, it's good to have the information. So we're excited. We're excited about this birth. We're excited to be a family of 4.5. I think Hutch is the half.
Hutch is like 4 people himself.
He has the energy of 4 people himself.
He's driving me bananas sometimes.
Yeah, I think he knows change is coming again. Because he's just been on another level. So, And Jovi kind of has too. So I think Jovi's sensing something, or she just, hit the toddler tantrum phase.
Mm-hmm.
And clingy phase and hitting phase and everything all at once. So
yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun.
It will be. And I think that as long as we I think something that helps me is it's like sometimes in the moment you feel like you're alone. Like you're the only one with an 18-month-old and a newborn trying to figure it out and with a kid that's having a meltdown and another one that's screaming and a dog that's barking. It's like thousands of people have been here.
Yeah.
And they've done it and they've survived, and you're going to have days and moments like that. But I think staying curious, staying open, staying compassionate,
having faith,
having a lot of faith,
letting go,
knowing that moments are fleeting.
It's funny. We've watched Frozen maybe 1,000 times in the last week, and I'm just still working on letting it go.
Yeah.
Still working on it.
It's funny because she started mimicking the dance moves.
Yeah, she loves that movie.
So funny. Elsa. I would take that over Coco Melon.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. But, well, thanks for listening to The Birth Plan. I know I said that we're going to have the episode of Jessie after this, but I think since we talked so long, I'm just going to release this as a bonus episode and then have hers separately. I thought we were going to talk for 10, 15 minutes. It's been 45 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Time flies.
We don't need a 2-hour long podcast. So stay tuned for the Jessie podcast, and we'll release this one separately so that people can just listen to the birth plan if they want, and then they can listen to the episode about the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I got to listen to that one.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. And then after that, I'm having some birth stories come out, and I'm really excited. So some good episodes coming up. I feel like all I've been doing is recording. So got to roll them out. Get prepared for this baby.
Let's do it. Let's get excited.
I am excited.
Me too.
I'm you?
So nervous.
You're holding your stomach.
I know.
Vito got nervous diarrhea today.
Was that today or last night?
It was last night. Yeah.
We were talking and I was like, shoot. Worked myself up into a frenzy.
It's all right. You're going to be a dad.
You have no idea. You have zero clue. And I have no idea what you go through. But you have no idea sitting there watching the person you love go through so much pain and not being able to do anything. And then your daughter can't breathe. And you know it. You can sense it. And then you're just watching all this stuff. And you're just doing nothing. And you're useless. And it's like everything you love and care for. You just see how fragile it is. Mm-hmm. And it just messed me up. It did.
But look at us now.
I know.
We're all good, boo.
I know. And we're good.
We made it out. So this time it'll be different too.
Yeah. It's
completely different experience.
Uneventful.
Same midwife, same doula.
It'll be great.
Yeah. It'll be good.
They have smelling salts at that place too. So we're good. We're set to go.
You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening, and we will talk to you soon. The next time Vito is on will be to tell the birth story.
Might be a while.
I feel like we told the last one pretty soon.
Yeah,
after?
I don't remember, but
a couple weeks after.
That's too soon.
No. We'll play it by ear. Vito has to process.
I do.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. So, well, thanks for sending in questions and for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast